live. Yeah, so you can share it. You can do as you please with it. For some reason they didn't allow it. Let me tag you.
You can tag me?
There we go. I just tagged you. There we go. See what we can do with this one. It's always a tougher one. Go. See if I can expand this a bit. That would be crazy. Yeah, let's not do that.
I can't share the live on Instagram though.
Mm-mm. Let's do this. Let's move that out the way. This is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a little interesting here. There we go. Let's move this way. Okay. All right. Thank you all for tuning in to WHC LP Chicago 98.3 FM. And you're listening to the show Money Talks, where all we talk is money. And today we'll be essentially talking about, bless you, we'll be talking about debunking some myths when it comes to the life insurance industry. And today I'm here with my beautiful wife, Miss Yvonne Badu. She's over here to my right. And I know Instagram, it's always a little interesting, you know, because I have to literally flip the camera for you guys to see her. But on Facebook, I know we have that on widescreen so everybody can see it. So if you don't mind just liking this and sharing it, it's always greatly appreciated. So share with all your friends, tag a family member. Let us know where you're listening from in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to give you a shout out, right? So just let us know where you're listening from in the chat. And it may be one thing that you're looking forward to learning today. Perhaps it's something new that you don't already know. So just, if you don't mind just liking this, sharing it with a friend, tagging a friend or two, and then also sharing where you're from, and lastly, or where you're listening from, and then lastly, one thing that you're looking to get out of this talk today. We got Poppin' Doc says Los Angeles. Shout out to LA. Shout out to my LA folks. Appreciate you for joining us tonight. Once again, we're live on WJT LP 98.3 FM Chicago, and today we'll be talking about debunking some myths when it comes to the life insurance industry, or just life insurance in general. Today is all about education. We're going to educate you guys on some very, very important topics, some very, very important things. So we'll be having more of a panel-style discussion. You can feel free to type your questions in the chat. All right. Let's see. DST Diva Forever. Shout out to you, listener from Chicago on Instagram. So we are live on a radio, 98.3 FM Chicago. You can listen to us live on the radio, and you can also go to our website, WGHCradio.org. Once again, that's WGHCradio.org. All right. And then we're streaming live on Facebook. And then we're also on IG or Instagram. So appreciate everyone for joining. All right, shout out to Yvette, who's the twin sister of our beloved guest speaker tonight.
Hey, Yvette.
Absolutely. She said, Facebook, I'm looking forward to learning different options and what policies would work for me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we got a packed house tonight. And then we got Orlando. Shout out to Orlando, my main man Orlando. He said, what's up, Jeff? Appreciate you for joining from Instagram. And then D.W. Myers, listening from Chicago. Shout out to you. All right. Shout out to Yvette. She said, hey, y'all. All right. So before we get into that, let's just take 5 minutes. So let's go until 7:15 p.m. Central and just do a quick market recap. Let's talk about what happened in the markets last week. And then we'll let our guest speaker introduce herself, and then we'll go right into the discussion for today. All right, so this report is as of October 15, 2021. Happy official end of tax season, by the way. October 15th is the official last day to submit a tax return and not get penalized, right? It was our last deadline of the year, so we were able to get through that. Shout out to the Badu Tax Services team. You know, I think we did a fantastic job this year, and we look forward to a great year next year as well. All right, so despite a shaky start, Wall Street enjoyed a strong week of gains, right? Strong week of gains. A favorable start to corporate earnings season helped lift equities higher. All right, each of the benchmark indexes ultimately posted solid weekly gains, led by the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. The dollar and the treasury yield slipped while crude oil prices rose 3.5% to $82.25 a barrel. $82.25 a barrel. So if you've noticed gas prices get higher, this is why, because oil prices are going up. I remember when oil used to trade at $16 just a few years ago. Now it's at $82.25. That's pretty scary. Despite the generally positive week, investors will continue to keep an eye on economic data and rising prices. Inflation is crazy right now. Everything is getting expensive, right? Everything is getting expensive. All right, so higher oil, gas, and other commodity prices, could raise concerns about inflationary pressures, and they could drag down corporate profit margins. So as inflation goes up, things get more expensive, and that drags down profits, which guess what? They pass it down to the consumer so that we pay more money. As companies pay more money, then we end up paying more money. Material shortages, rising wages, and shipping bottlenecks have driven up costs for producers. Many have passed these costs on to consumers, just like I stated, leading to more persistent inflation. Inflation is the diminishing purchasing power of your money. Meaning if you have $1 right now, it can buy less things a year from now, right? That same dollar can only buy maybe 95 cents worth of stuff 12 months from now. So your dollar just went down by 5% in value. Only way to really combat that is to invest the money. When you invest the money, that way you can at least either meet or beat inflation. Right? The only way we can actually outpace these things get more expensive, especially if your salary or your wages are not going up, is to invest your money, right? And today we'll be talking about one way to invest your money as well. All right, so initial earnings data comes from the banks and financial institutions. The next few weeks, we'll see earnings reports from the bulk of companies in most sectors and may reveal the impact that inflation and supply demands has on earnings margins so far in the third quarter or Q3. All right, so let's skip a little bit. So far this year, the Dow Jones is up 15.32%. All right, and then you have the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is, which is composed mainly of technology stocks. So all the big tech stocks, right, are in the NASDAQ. That's up 15.59%. And then the S&P 500, huge, right, which is composed of the top 500 companies or stocks in the U.S., is up 19.04%. 19.04%. And today we'll touch upon it just a little bit as to how we can tie this to insurance, right? But when an index is up 19.04% and last year was up 16%, that means you got to be in it. Right? You've got to get yourself in it somehow, whether it's directly through like a Robinhood, Acorns, or through life insurance, where you're invested directly into the index itself. Imagine making 19% on your money, and inflation right now is at about 5%. So that means your spread is about 14% on your money. If you don't invest it, though, and you earn 0%, you just lost 5% of your money. Right? That's how inflation works. If you did not invest this year, you literally lost 5% of your money if it was sitting in the bank. All right. So yeah, you can lose money by leaving it in the bank. It's an informal way. Not saying don't save money, just saying don't overdo it. Right? Don't oversave the money. Invest some of it. All right. Russell 2000 is up 14.72% so far this year, and then the global Dow is up 17.26%. What to look forward to this week? The Federal Reserve's report on industrial production for September is available this week. The industrial sector has been advancing despite supply chain bottlenecks. So COVID is causing a lot of supply chain bottlenecks, and that's why things are getting so expensive, because they're making less of it. Low supply, high demand equals higher prices. Simple economics. And then also labor shortages. People don't want to go to work because they're collecting unemployment. I mean, you're adding so much fire, to something that's already been started, right? You're adding more light under the fire, basically. And then that's led to increased costs, right? And this will keep going on until the pandemic goes away, basically. So something to keep in mind. You have to have your money working. You got to have your money working. If you don't, you're going to lose pretty much all of it. So it's a requirement. It's no longer a recommendation, but it's a requirement to invest your money, whether you like it or not. Data from the housing sector is also out this week, with reports on housing starts and existing home sales. Housing starts rose nearly 4% in August, although sales of existing homes fell more than 2%. All right, so moment of truth. Let me reintroduce my show. So welcome to the show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money. My name is Yvonne Badu. I'm a parallel entrepreneur and a wealth multiplier, and the founder and CEO of Badu Enterprises, LLC. My purpose in life is to inspire and support the super hungry to take hold of infinite resources in order to create an abundant lifestyle. Not a scarcity, but an abundant lifestyle. You listen live to my show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money. All right, on WJC LP 98.3 FM, Chicago. You can either tune into the radio or listen to us live on WGHCradio.org. WJCradio.org. We're also streaming live on Facebook and Instagram. If you don't mind, if you're on Facebook and Instagram, just liking and also sharing this video. Liking and sharing the video, and also tag a friend or two to listen in with us today. And then type in the chat, right, where you're listening from and one thing you're looking to get out of today. And so without further ado, I do want to introduce our beloved guest, who happens to be my beautiful wife. I'll let Instagram make sure you guys can see her. No need to see me anymore, right? My beloved wife, Miss Yvonne Badu, who's the co-founder and CEO of Badu Life and Health Solutions, LLC. And so without any further ado, I'll just let her go ahead and introduce yourself. Can you please introduce yourself, Miss beautiful Yvonne Badu?
Hey everyone, good evening. My name is Yvonne Badu. I am the CEO and co-founder of Badu Life and Health Solutions LLC, where we provide life insurance solutions to individuals, families, and businesses. I am also the vice president of the Badu Foundation, where we provide education to children ages 6 to 18 um, on financial topics such as savings, investing, scholarships, you name it. While I'm not on the entrepreneurial side, I am a pediatric nurse full time. And yeah, I'm here to give you guys some valuable information that you guys can take with you and hopefully take with you for future generations to come.
Absolutely.
And my purpose is to uplift families to be their true selves and to always reach for something greater than themselves, no matter what.
Absolutely.
I want each and every person that I touch here on this earth to understand their value and how they can take that moving on in the future.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, Yvonne. Hopefully everybody can hear Yvonne. If you can hear her, please give me, a thumbs up in the chat. Just let us get some feedback, some comments. All right, so we got a comment here. Let's see. D.W. Myers says, looking for more information on infinite banking concept. Well, guess what? You came to the right place, right? You definitely came to the right place. All right, so I'm getting thumbs up that people can hear Yvonne. All right, so that's good. That's definitely good. Thank you all for joining. Looks like we're getting a lot of, folks to like this and to be able to share it. So yeah, if you don't mind liking and sharing the video, liking and sharing, tagging a friend or two. All right, that's something that it's always greatly appreciated. Shout out to Jerry, my brother-in-law. He says, know their monetary and intangible value. Absolutely. All right, so Miss Yvonne, so you mentioned Badu Life and Health Solutions LLC. Do you mind just giving us a recap of what does the company do?
So like I said, we do provide life insurance solutions for individuals, families, and businesses. Anything that has to do with life insurance, we do provide. We individualize our policies. We make sure that it's the right policy for you and your situation and, your families, your assets, you name it. And then we make sure that you are set up with the right policy. So that is what we do. We value what you do. We value your values. And we have, just like you will have a high expectation for us, we have high hopes for you to be successful in the future.
Wow. Amen to that. That is powerful. That is definitely powerful. Now, can you please talk about, there's this whole debate about scarcity versus abundance, right? This is a very, very hot topic. Can you please touch upon first of all, just touch upon the debate between scarcity versus abundance and which side is the better side to be on?
Well, I'll go straight to the point. It's always best to be on the abundance side. You don't want to be in the scarcity mindset. It's not going to take you anywhere. When you're thinking of abundance, you're thinking about what can I do next. You're thinking about your purpose and your higher calling. You're thinking about what can you do to improve your future and the future generations ahead. We're all here on this earth for a reason, and we have a purpose. And I believe part of that purpose is what are we going to do to just improve the lives for others moving forward. How can I change the trajectory for my future generation? So I think when you're thinking about abundance, you're thinking ahead and not, the past. You don't want to think about, you don't want to think about the worries of the world. You're more so thinking about what's to come. You're staying in a positive mindset. And I mean, that's pretty much what sums up abundance versus scarcity.
Absolutely, absolutely. By the way, Miss Yvonne is looking really beautiful today. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Those that are listening live on the radio, she's looking quite stunning, quite amazing.
Thank you.
And so if we can get some thumbs up on that, that would be greatly appreciated, right? As usual, but man, I just had to look in the camera for a second and had to make that compliment. All right, so with that, let's go into the next. Yeah, if we can get, if you like what you're hearing, hey, give us some thumbs up, like, share the video, and we always greatly appreciate it, right? Because the more people we can get the information out to, the more people are going to benefit from what we're talking about, right? We're genuinely in it for your best interest. And tonight, the main topic is actually debunking myths when it comes to life insurance. Now, of course, we had to, ease into the topic a bit, right? We had to give you an appetizer before we get into the meat and the potatoes of the topic. And so, Miss Yvonne, one thing that people came to find out tonight, they said, hey, I'm tired of all the nonsense that I'm hearing on the news and people telling me this, people telling me that. We're here to debunk some myths tonight, right? We're here to give you honest, sincere truth, feedback. And so from what you know, and I know you've come a long way in the industry, right? Being a licensed life insurance agent, it's not an easy journey to get the license, nor is it an easy journey to even still be here, right? So I definitely want to applaud Yvonne for that. But knowing all the things that you know today, what are some of the common myths when it comes to life insurance? I mean, just give us a few. You can start with the basics if you want.
Yeah, I would definitely start off with the biggest one. Number one myth that I always hear when it comes to life insurance is that it's expensive. Based on a insurance barometer study in 2019, people's perception of life insurance is three times the amount that it actually is. There's so many different policies that is fostered towards each individual. There's different kinds of policies, that basically fits an individual's needs, and it's definitely a big fallacy when people think of life insurance. And honestly, you guys, I feel like life insurance, it's something that we should really think about more as an investment than something that is expensive or, there's another bill. Life insurance has so many benefits that I believe would help so many different things, especially when it comes to the economy. This country is in a lot of debt. Student debt in this country is on the rise. If we really think about it, life insurance is definitely a solution for that. It could be used as an investment tool where you can, you sign up for a policy, you can accumulate money over time, and then you can utilize it in case you have a loss of insurance, or in case you want to invest in other areas that you're interested in. So it's a big investment tool. We shouldn't look at it as just, another bill or something that we should rely on when someone passes away. There's more to life insurance than we think.
Got it. Okay. So basically, to sum that up, life insurance is not as costly as you think it is. And then there's a lot that you can do with insurance. You can actually invest the money over time. I think what Yvonne was alluding to is a permanent life insurance policy where you can invest a certain amount each month, let's say $100 or even $1,000 a month, and that money gets invested into what we just talked about, the S&P 500 index, which is up 19% so far this year. And they have policies that have what's called a ceiling, which is the maximum you can earn on a policy each year, and then a floor, which is the minimum you can earn on a policy each year.
That's right.
Right? So, for example, we have policies that have a 16, right? I know a policy out there right now that has a 16% ceiling, meaning you can earn up to 16% on your money. Last year, the S&P 500 did 16%. This year so far, it's doing 19%. It might go up to 20 or 22%. Who knows where it's going to end off, right? So you have the ceiling, meaning your account would be credited. Life insurance goes through what's called a crediting process, where whatever the market is doing, they're crediting you that amount. And then if the market tanks, like in 2008, where the stock market went down by like 30%, you'd still make a floor at a minimum of 0%, meaning you don't lose money on your investment, right? The insurance company takes that burden, basically. And then they have some policies that have a 1% floor, meaning as the market is tanking, you're still making money. So that's known as a permanent life insurance policy. More specifically, one that's tied to the index, aka an index universal life insurance policy, right? And this is a policy that you can have for life, right? So, and then we got D.W. Myers says, shout out to D.W. Myers, by the way, very, very active on his Instagram live today. The same people which say it is expensive are the same ones who will waste so much money monthly on other things that do not benefit them. That is absolutely correct. You know, you want to chime in on that, Yvonne?
Yeah, everything that we spend is an investment. People buy clothes, shoes, all these materialistic things, but we don't prioritize our investments. We don't spend money on things that are more important than things that are going to only be there temporarily. Life insurance is a big investment tool. Life insurance is going to sustain your life and future generations to come. It's always going to be there. You are doing you're doing your due diligence to your family, to your investment, your assets, and even to yourself when you sign up for life insurance, and you're just positioning yourself so that you can create a successful future for yourself and future generations. So that's what I have to say about that. So let's stop, purchasing materialistic things. Let's look more into what is the bigger picture here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And oh, by the way, isn't her smile so stunning? You know, I don't know if I was paying attention to what she was saying or her smile in the video. Just focused. Right, gotta stay focused. Gotta stop fooling around, right? All right. Jerry said, is it really a bill if you get the money back and then some? I mean, you mind alluding on that?
It's not a bill, it's an investment. You when we think of bills, it's things that we're paying off, and we're investing in certain things, but there's not really much on our investment. But when you think of a life insurance, you're getting more on your investment. So that's what I have to say to that.
Absolutely. Great answer, by the way. That's awesome. All right, so let me just do a real quick reintroduction. So thank you, everyone, right, tuning in. WJC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. We're live on the radio on 98.3 FM in Chicago. Or you can also tune in at WGHCradio.org. We're streaming live on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. If you don't mind liking and sharing this video and typing in the chat where you're listening from so we can give you a shout out. We do give shout outs on the show. And also with that being said, tonight we're talking about some myths. We're debunking all these different myths. People think life insurance is too expensive. Oh, what happens if I don't pass away, right? Everybody passes away at some point. Is this money going to waste? Is this a bill? Is this something I have to add on to it? I mean, and can you really imagine and that there's people out there, there's more people out there right now that probably have a car insurance than they even have insurance on their own bodies, like themselves.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's very scary. They got insurance on their cars. They got insurance on their homes. Even their phones. Come on, you're insuring your phone before your own life? That's insane. Shout out to Perry Cartier, listening live from Miami. Shout out to MIA. Man, I love Miami. Every time I go to Miami, it's a great time. Shout out to the MIA. So what? Any other myths, Yvonne? Like what's another common myth that people have out there?
Another one I hear is, you're too young to have life insurance. If you're in your 20s, you're too young. You still got time. The truth of the matter is, every single person on this earth that is 14 days old and older are qualified for life insurance. So, once you have a child and you are thinking about life insurance, you wait until they're 14 days old and older, and you definitely, you can contact us and we can help you get a policy for them. Every person on this earth is eligible for life insurance. It's very important to have, especially when you're young, because you're for the most part you are considered a dependent. If something was to happen to you, then your parents or your guardian is responsible for all your costs, all your funeral costs, anything that you're leaving behind.
What about student loans?
Oh yeah, once something happens to you, the student loans fall back on your legal guardian or your parents, and it's heartbreaking. Where when someone passes away, you're already mourning for the person. You don't want to be debilitated with all the issues that comes with cost of things. It's better to cover yourself. It's better to cover your children, so that if something does happen, then you have an investment here that can cover everything, and some.
Wow, that's powerful. That is definitely powerful. Anybody can get it, right? You don't exempt yourself. And that whether you're young, whether you're older, right, you got to get something to, at a bare minimum, pay for the funeral and pay for the burdens that you may leave on this planet. You don't want to leave this planet as someone who left burdens, right? You want to leave this planet as someone who left a legacy, who left long-term sustainable wealth. Think about the Rockefellers. They're big into life insurance. I mean, that is their bread and butter right there. How did the Rockefellers become so wealthy outside of the oil companies and all that? They had a ton of life insurance. I mean, they got life insurance on everybody. I mean, I bet the dogs even might have something on them, so.
Yeah, so many, of the rich and, wealthy, they really take advantage of opportunities like this because they know that, this is going to sustain their whole pedigree and their assets. Everything that they own, everything that they touch, it's going to, help sustain it. It's going to help elevate it. So if they can do that, you all sure can do that too. Absolutely. Now, we had a famous comedian that died. I won't mention his name for, just to pay some respect. Rest in peace to his soul, by the way. But I read on the news that he passed away and had nothing. I mean, no life insurance, nothing. And then his wife, instead of his wife, being able to have a decent funeral, she ended up being sad, not just because of his death, but because he left a burden.
I think he might have even left some debts behind. And you're talking about a famous comedian, someone who was making millions of dollars a year doing shows, right? He's very, very famous. So, I mean, let's just talk about that for a second. I mean, how would that feel if, someone else, let's just say you had a family member that was in that predicament? I mean, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, it's just the worst feeling. I can only imagine. I mean, you're with a loved one. Life is great. All of a sudden, something happens to them. They're gone. And you're not only burdened with, mourning for them, you're burdened with the expenses that they've left behind.
Wow.
And a lot of people like to, I don't want to say a lot of people, but it's a common theme, when someone passes away, we start to see, issues arise. You start to see, people trying to, fight for inheritance or what have you. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate when we do have a loved one pass away, but I feel like it shouldn't be something where, drama arises from. We shouldn't, rely on, others to kind of, I guess you can say, pick up the slack. GoFundMes, all that, put the money in the hat, all those things. Like, I just feel like that time is a sacred time where we're supposed to be celebrating life. Death doesn't have to be a negative thing. Unfortunately, this society has a negative connotation when it comes to death. It is sad, yes, but I believe that we should be celebrating the life of others instead of, focusing on, costs and, this person didn't contribute anything, and, just a lot of things that at the end of the day, they don't matter.
For sure.
So I believe, I see life insurance as a solution to that. I mean, even just that, because it helps families, families are covered with these policies. When a loved one passes away, the focus is more on celebrating the life rather than being burdened with the costs of everything and the drama that comes with it.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, Yvonne. By the way, shameless plug, this Wednesday, we are doing a 3-step infinite wealth building formula. Once again, 3-step infinite wealth building formula this Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Central. We did post the flyers on Instagram and Facebook. We would love for you to attend. It's via Zoom. You can text WEALTH to 773-819-5675 to RSVP. Once again, WEALTH to 773-819-5675 in order to RSVP. All right, so Yvonne, I do have a question. This is a real question, real conversation. Let's talk about the Ghanaian community for a second.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we need a lot of tea for this one. But let's talk about the Ghanaian community for a second, and let's have a real conversation about our uncles, right? Our, the people that came before us, and even the people that are riding with us, our friends and loved ones. I mean, like, how bad do you see it when it comes to the insurance piece? And what can they do? Like, what can Ghanaians do right now to solve this massive, massive problem of wealth? I call it multi-generational taking away wealth. I saw an article the other day that said when we're building wealth as a black community, or, Ghanaian community especially, we're doing a reverse. And that the kids are the ones that are supporting the older folks, which is kind of a problem. And that how in the world is it that an older folk leaves the planet and then the kid has to take on the burden? I mean, where they do that at?
The solution for that, I think there needs to be a big mindset shift. There's so much scarcity in the mindset. There's a lot of ignorance. We're not educated enough about topics such as this. We really need to take advantage of things like this, and see, actually, if you don't know, actually seek knowledge. There's so much information in this world, especially here in the U.S. There's so many opportunities. I feel like, they don't take advantage of it. Partially not their fault, though. They come from a different country, and the main thing is to grind and make sure that their kids are, their kids are good, their position good, where they don't have to deal with the things that they've dealt with when, they came here and had to work hard, all that stuff. But I think the missing piece to that was that, they were so busy grinding.
Yep.
They didn't have time to seek knowledge for, certain things that will help position us so that we can have a successful life. The mindset is, I come to the U.S., they're going to have great education, they're going to go to school, they're going to be nurses, doctors, lawyers, whatever it is. But there's so many other opportunities that's out there. It's not just, the mindset for them is kind of limited. There needs to be more education on different avenues when it comes to investments. Me personally, growing up, I wasn't taught on money topics.
Me neither.
Investments. The only thing I knew was that don't get loans. Save your money. The basic things, and I'm sure a lot of you have been taught the same. But I didn't know about, to be honest, I didn't even know too much on taxes. I just knew you had to do it every year. But growing up and actually being exposed to amazing people like Jeff, I got to learn, different things when it comes to taxes, what you have to do to, leverage yourself, investments, you name it. Just so many different things that I'm just kind of like, wow, like I didn't even know a lot of these things existed. I was exposed to life insurance first by a mentor, one of my friends' dads. Shout out to Mark Drake. He taught us about life insurance before the age of 20. I didn't really know too much. He was telling me about it, and I was, in shock, but I didn't really take hone to what he was saying and actually take what he was saying and do something with it. I just kind of had it in the back of my mind, and I kept saying, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Wow. But it's very important to start as soon as possible. For those that they're driven towards, the cost of things. If you start early, your premiums are actually less than what it would be later on down the road. So there's no excuse for you to, take advantage of life insurance now. It's very important to take advantage of it now, because later on it's going to, increase.
Yeah, going to be more expensive.
Yeah, it's going to be more expensive. So why not take advantage now?
For sure.
And so circling back to my point, I really think it's important for us to take advantage of these opportunities and learn more about it so that we can position ourselves and position our children in the right way. It's not just about, going to school and all that. The mind can expand so often, and we definitely just have to use it and learn more about what we can do to leverage ourselves.
Absolutely. That's powerful. That's powerful. I do want to shout out to my own mother, Miss Monica, who taught me about life insurance. She taught me the insurance game, because somebody had taught her literally a year before she taught me. And so you don't know what you don't know, but once you know, you've got to act. If you don't, then what are you doing? And so she got, she was able to get herself, something. And then she taught me about it. I'm like, man, I got to learn even more. So that made me hungry to learn more about it. And so I really appreciate her for teaching me about the insurance game. Now, you mentioned real quick, shout out to Nildo. It looks like we got somebody listening. I don't want to, let's see. Nildo, do you mind sharing what country you listening from right now, Nildo Silva? I think that's Brazil. Silva, I believe, is a Brazilian last name. And I think that's a Brazilian flag that he posted in the chat.
Welcome, Brazil.
Right. My apologies if that's the wrong flag nowadays. It's crazy. All right. So, Yvonne, you talked about ignorance, right? Ignorance. Can you please define ignorance? What does ignorance mean to you?
Ignorance is your unwillingness to learn.
Wow.
Unwillingness to expand your mind and being open to different topics that is going to benefit you. Ignorance is when you're more so focused on the quantity and not the quality of certain things. Your value is more monetary than the quality of, the product.
For sure.
We have to change our mindset in that we focus more on things that is going to help us, things that are going to benefit us for the long term, and not think about things that are only temporary.
For sure.
Yeah, we definitely have to have a mindset shift when it comes to that.
For sure. So do you think scarcity has something to do with ignorance?
It's definitely scarcity. I think that's a synonym for ignorance.
Wow.
Like, we should be thinking outside of the box. We shouldn't be stuck in the box that, if you're not expanding on knowledge each and every day, then you're just going to be in the same spot for years.
Wow. Woo!
And if you're in the same spot for years, ignorance is brewing. You start blaming other people. You're not taking accountability for yourself. It's very important to hone in on things that are going to benefit your life. Create a legacy. It's so important. Value your legacy. Value your purpose. And I believe that you're going to go far if you do.
Wow. Dropping gems. Dropping bars. She's like Cassidy out here on the rap game. My goodness. All right, so let's go to the chat. Let's see what we got. All right. DW Meyer says, best to get coverage early. They may have health issues later, which may make it hard or harder for them to qualify for life insurance later. It's so simple.
And I'm actually glad he brought that up because that's another sort of myth. Yes, there are policies that, they look at your health. It's based on your health. But a lot of policies now, they don't go based on, your medical. They don't require medical. They do look at past medical history, but it's not it's not a huge factor into the policy. So there are policies actually out there that don't really focus too much on medical, but there are definitely some that do.
For sure. Absolutely. That is powerful. So the more of the story is no matter where you are in life, no matter how old or young you are, you got to get this stuff. Like similar to the whole inflation piece, you have to invest your money. Right, same thing here. You got to have life insurance. Even if it's a small $50,000, $100,000 policy, get you something. For me, I started small, right? Started small, dip my toes in the water. As Warren Buffett would say, dip your toes in the water a bit. And then if it's good, the temperature's good, boom, jump all in, go all in. Right, ever since then, I have never stopped my journey when it comes to the insurance game. It is one of my top 3 investments on the planet. Life insurance. Top 3 investments on the planet. All right. So let's see. Real quick, Perry Cartier says, schools don't teach this stuff. right? I'm glad you're here giving us this wealth of knowledge for free, right? 100% free. We didn't charge anybody to come to this.
Yeah.
This is public. You know, we got 2 million folks that we reach on the radio. We got people on Facebook, Instagram. We're doing this 100% free, educating the community. I mean, what do you have to say about the school system?
You know, there is a lot of issues with the school system. One of the things that I wish they continued doing or actually put more emphasis on is, you know, financial topics. So when I was growing up, Junior Achievements was around, and they helped us learn a little bit about money. Unfortunately, we didn't have Junior Achievements. We only had Junior Achievements for 2 grades, and then it fell off
and then it was done.
Face of the earth. Yeah.
Wow.
It's very important for us to teach our kids these topics early so that they can make better decisions in the future. I've seen a lot of people, you know, they get older, they start making more money. You know, they weren't taught how to manage money, so what do? They spend it on things that are, you know, unnecessary, spend it on materialistic things when they can be using that money to invest, and they can use their investments to leverage them, whether that will be into other investments, business opportunities, or even an education. So I think it's very important for us to teach children earlier on. The Badu Foundation, every year we teach children ages 6 to 18 financial topics. We definitely hope to expand to schools, different countries, everything, because we really think that these topics are very important.
For sure.
So that we can better position them in the right direction.
Absolutely. That's a great point. And speaking of the Badu Foundation, we're actually doing a program with Ghana this Friday. So we're doing a Zoom. Ghana and the U.S. will be joining forces. We'll be talking about estate planning, right? Setting up your estate for success, building that legacy, and passing down wealth from generation to generation. So we'll be doing that at 3 p.m. Central on Zoom. I did post a flyer on Instagram and Facebook, 3 p.m. Central on Zoom, which I believe is 8 p.m. Ghana, GMT, basically, Ghana time. So we'll be doing that on Zoom, and we'll invite Badu Foundation students. I've already sent out the invitations today. You can feel free to join. If you don't have the flyer information, just shoot me a text, a DM. Once again, that's the Badu Foundation program. We'll be doing it with a fellow named Peter in Ghana.
Hi, Peter.
Absolutely. And we'll be joining forces and basically talking about building wealth. I mean, long-term sustainable wealth. We're teaching kids. Can you imagine? We're teaching kids how to pass down wealth from generation to generation.
That's right.
Pretty powerful topic. And I'll be speaking on estate planning for the U.S. specifically. All right. My boy Rashad says, what's the top 3 again? I was switching to Bluetooth. So top 3 investments, in my opinion. Number 1 is a business, right? Something that you start that's generating you income over time. It starts off as active income and then eventually becomes passive income. And then real estate, rental real estate. You know, rental real estate would be number 2. Number 3 is a permanent life insurance policy, specifically one that's index universal life. And to take it a step further, premium finance, meaning a bank can actually contribute up to 3 times the money you're putting into your own policy, just like they're doing real estate. All right, so Yvonne, we got 3 minutes to go. We got another program that starts in 3 minutes. So where can people, first of all, thank you, by the way. I think you shared great, valuable information. If we can give her some clap emojis, if we can give her some thumbs up, some likes, I think she did an excellent job. She did a great job. So some clap emojis in the chat, some thumbs up, right? Thumbs up. It's always greatly appreciated. So where can people... Absolutely. Look at all the love, man.
Oh, wow. Thank you, guys.
It's a lot of love. A lot of love. All right. So where can people find out more information about what we just talked about today?
All right. So we have social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram, Badu Life Health. On Instagram, Badu Life and Health Solutions LLC. On Facebook.
Okay.
We also have a website, www.badulifehealth.com. You can visit our page. If you scroll down, you can put in your information if you want more information, or if you want us to set you up with the right policy for you. You definitely take advantage of that. What else?
How can I call you?
Oh, okay. Our number is 847-906-3115.
Okay.
Again, that's 847-906-3115. We also have an email, badulifehealth@gmail.com. You can reach us there as well.
Okay.
And I actually want to applaud all of you for tuning in, taking the time out to, learn about these topics. I really hope you guys take advantage. I definitely want to help you guys, change your lifestyle for the better. I want limitless lifestyle for everyone.
For sure.
Because, we all deserve it. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And then what is something somebody can do right now? Like, they're interested, whatever. Like, what is an actionable step? What is an action step that someone can do right now or shortly after this?
You can visit our page, www.badulifehealth.com.
Okay.
Put your info in, and we will get in contact with you as soon as possible. Or you can email us at badulifehealth@gmail.com. You can contact us. You can also contact Jeff as well.
Absolutely.
And yeah, act now. Don't wait until it's too late. You have the information now. Well, some of the information. We're here as tools to help you leverage. So definitely take advantage of these opportunities, guys.
Absolutely. Wow, what an awesome job, Miss Yvonne. Thank you for gracing your presence to our listeners. Your beautiful presence, of course. For me, I got distracted half the time. But, right, I hope you all paid attention and got this information. Take action right now. Go to badulifehealth.com. Once again, badulifehealth.com. I posted it on Facebook and Instagram. And feel free to, act now, right? Act now, take action, and do something that will mean even more tomorrow. Do something today that will mean even more tomorrow. What does your legacy look like? What do you want to leave behind for your kids, for your family, your future kids, your future family? Do you want to be known as a burden to people? Or do you want to be known as someone who created long-term, sustainable, lasting wealth?
Yes, we are building legacies, not building burdens.
Absolutely. And with that being said, thank you, Yvonne, once again. My name is Jeff Badu, and I look forward to continuously and consistently delivering you all some content. Thank you.